For a long time, smart glasses feel like a concept people talk about more than something they actually wear every day, and that's exactly why what Xiaomi puts on the table here matters. In the first few seconds of using Xiaomi smart audio glasses, the feeling is different from most wearable tech because nothing about them demands attention. They look like normal glasses, they sit like normal glasses, and they behave like normal glasses that quietly happen to play audio. That's the hook here. This device does not try to impress you with features you don't use. It tries to blend into your routine without changing how you live, and that alone explains why people even compare it to Meta Ray-Ban in the first place. The comparison isn't about cameras or social media. It's about which company understands daily wear better. The moment you put them on, the design choice becomes obvious. Xiaomi's smart audio glasses focus on balance and comfort. The frame weight is distributed so they don't feel front-heavy, which matters when you wear them for hours. The arms sit gently over the ears without pressure points, and that makes a difference during long walks, commutes, or workdays. These glasses do not force you to feel the technology. They disappear after a while, and that's intentional. Xiaomi treats them as eyewear first and electronics second, and that approach shapes everything else about the experience. Audio is the core feature, and it's delivered through open-ear speakers built into the frame. That means sound travels toward your ears without sealing them off from the environment. In real life, this matters more than spec sheets. You can listen to music, podcasts, or calls while still hearing traffic, coworkers, or someone calling your name. This open-ear design is one of the main reasons people look at these glasses as a serious alternative to Meta Ray-Ban, especially for users who don't want cameras on their face but still want smart functionality. The built-in microphones pick up your voice clearly in normal environments, and the sound coming back stays close to your ears without blasting outward. In public spaces, that privacy aspect is important. You're not shouting into the air, and people nearby usually don't hear the conversation. Xiaomi focuses on everyday communication here, not content creation. That's a clear philosophical difference compared to Meta Ray-Ban, which centers heavily on capturing photos and videos. Controls are simple and practical. Touch gestures on the arms let you play or pause audio, answer calls, or skip tracks. There's no learning curve. You don't need to remember complex combinations or talk to an assistant. The interaction feels like using regular wireless earbuds, just relocated to your glasses. That simplicity makes the glasses approachable for people who normally avoid smart wearables because they feel complicated. Xiaomi smart audio glasses charge through a magnetic connector, and charging feels like a quick routine rather than a chore. You wear them during the day, charge them when you're home, and repeat. There's no anxiety about running out of power mid-hour because they're not trying to do everything at once. By focusing only on audio and calls, Xiaomi keeps power demands predictable. Connectivity relies on your phone, and that relationship stays stable. Pairing is straightforward, and once connected, the glasses behave like a familiar Bluetooth audio device. Notifications, calls. No forced platform behavior. Android users especially feel comfortable here because Xiaomi designs these glasses to integrate cleanly without locking you into anything unusual. When people talk about Meta Ray-Ban and Xiaomi in the same sentence, it's important to stay grounded. Meta Ray-Ban offers cameras and social-focused features. Xiaomi smart audio glasses do not. That's not a weakness. It's a deliberate decision. Xiaomi aims at users who want smart assistants without surveillance concerns, without visible recording hardware, and without changing how they look to others. In environments like offices, public transport, or daily errands, that difference matters more than hype. The real reason this device sparks conversation is trust. People trust what they understand. Audio glasses that play sound and handle calls are easy to explain to anyone who asks. There's no awkward conversation about recording, no visible lens causing discomfort. You're wearing glasses that happen to be smart, not a camera pretending to be fashion. That subtle distinction is where Xiaomi finds its strength. As the day goes on and the glasses stay on your face without irritation, that's when the idea clicks. Smart glasses don't need to feel futuristic to be useful. They need to fit into your life quietly and reliably. Xiaomi smart audio glasses do exactly that, and as this experience continues, it becomes clearer why people start seeing them as a genuine alternative rather than a gimmick. And as we move deeper into real-world usage, comfort turns into habit, and habit is where smart wearables either fail or finally make sense. As that habit settles in, the next thing you start noticing is how these glasses behave when you stop thinking about them. That's an important moment for any wearable. With Xiaomi smart audio glasses, the technology doesn't constantly remind you it's there. You're not adjusting them every few minutes. You're not worried about accidental touches, and you're not changing your behavior to accommodate the device. You simply go about your day. That's where the difference becomes clearer, especially when people bring Meta Ray-Ban into the conversation. One approach asks you to interact with it often. The other quietly supports what you're already doing. During a normal workday, the audio use case starts to feel natural. You can listen to music at a low volume while working without blocking out surrounding sounds. If someone speaks to you, you hear them instantly without pausing or removing anything. That open-ear design changes how audio fits into daily routines. It feels less isolating than earbuds and less intrusive than over-ear headphones. Xiaomi doesn't try to replace your awareness of the world. It simply layers audio on top of it. Phone calls are where this becomes especially practical. Answering. A call with a simple touch on the frame feels intuitive, and because the microphones are positioned close to your mouth, your voice stays clear in normal indoor and outdoor environments. You're not holding a phone to your face, and you're not pulling out earbuds. The conversation just happens. That matters for people who take frequent calls while moving, working, or commuting. It's not about sounding futuristic. It's about convenience that doesn't interrupt flow. What's also noticeable is how stable the connection feels over time. Once paired, the glasses reconnect reliably when you put them on. You're not constantly troubleshooting Bluetooth or repairing devices. That reliability is boring in the best possible way. It's the kind of thing you only notice when it works consistently. Xiaomi treats these glasses like a daily use accessory, not a demo product meant to impress for 5 minutes and then frustrate you later. Comfort continues to play a role the longer you wear them. The frame doesn't pinch, and the weight stays balanced even after hours. For people who already wear prescription glasses or sunglasses, this matters more than specs. Smart glasses fail quickly if they compromise comfort. Xiaomi avoids that by keeping the design simple and familiar. There are no protruding modules or obvious tech elements drawing attention. From the side, they still look like glasses, and socially, that makes them easy to wear anywhere. Battery behavior becomes predictable over time, which reduces mental load. You learn roughly when they need charging without checking constantly. The magnetic charging system makes the process quick and straightforward. You're not fumbling with tiny ports or cables. That simplicity reinforces the idea that these glasses are meant to fit into routines, not create new ones. You wear them, you charge them, and you don't think much about it beyond that. When people compare these to Meta Ray-Ban, the conversation often shifts to intent. Meta Ray-Ban emphasizes capturing moments. Xiaomi smart audio glasses emphasize experiencing moments while staying connected. That distinction shows up clearly in everyday use. There's no hesitation about wearing these in meetings, public transport, or quiet spaces because they don't signal recording or content creation, they signal practicality. For many users, that alone is the deciding factor. Another subtle point is how others react. Most people don't even notice you're wearing smart glasses unless you tell them. That social invisibility lowers friction. You're not explaining features or answering questions constantly. You're just wearing glasses. In contrast, devices with visible cameras or distinctive designs often invite attention, which some users actively want and others actively avoid. Xiaomi's approach clearly targets the latter group. As days turn into weeks, the glasses stop feeling like a gadget and start feeling like an extension of your phone's audio system. Music, calls, and notifications flow naturally without demanding interaction. You're not using them because they're exciting. You're using them because they're convenient. That's a subtle but powerful shift, and it explains why conversations around Xiaomi smart audio glasses stay grounded in real-life use rather than hype. By this point, it becomes clear that the competition with Meta Ray-Ban isn't about who has more features. It's about who better understands how people actually live with wearable tech. Xiaomi chooses restraint, comfort, and reliability. That philosophy continues to shape the experience as we move further into longer-term use, where expectations settle and real value either holds up or fades away. ChatGPT can make. By the time you reach that longer-term phase, something interesting happens. You stop actively evaluating the glasses and start noticing how often you miss them when they're not there. That's usually the clearest signal that a wearable is doing its job. With Xiaomi smart audio glasses, the absence feels more noticeable than the presence ever did. You reach for them before leaving the house, not because you plan to use a feature, but because they quietly make everyday moments smoother. Daily routines start to reshape around small conveniences. Walking outside, you listen to navigation cues without staring at your phone. At home, you take a call while your hands are busy, and it doesn't feel like a workaround. Even short moments, like pausing music when someone speaks to you, happen naturally because you're never cut off from your surroundings. That open-ear design keeps proving its value in ways that aren't obvious on a spec sheet but become obvious in real life. Over time, audio quality feels consistent rather than impressive, and that's actually a compliment. Voices stay clear, music stays balanced, and there are no sudden changes that pull you out of the experience. Xiaomi doesn't tune these glasses to overwhelm. They tune them to be usable across different environments. Indoors, outdoors, quiet. Spaces, busy streets, the sound adapts well enough that you don't think about it. You just listen. Another thing that becomes clearer is how well the glasses respect personal boundaries. Because audio stays close to your ears and doesn't leak excessively, you don't feel self-conscious in public. You're not bothering others, and you're not drawing attention. That matters more than many people expect. Wearable tech often fails socially before it fails technically, and Xiaomi avoids that trap by keeping the experience discreet. Phone integration continues to feel straightforward. Notifications come through without demanding your attention. Calls connect reliably. You're not navigating complex menus or voice systems. Everything works through simple touches and familiar phone controls. That simplicity lowers the learning curve, especially for users who don't want to think of themselves as early adopters. These glasses don't require you to change habits. They quietly fit into existing ones. When you step back and look at the broader smart glasses conversation, this is where Xiaomi's approach stands apart. While Meta Ray-Ban leans heavily into content creation and social sharing, Xiaomi smart audio glasses stay focused on utility. That doesn't make one objectively better than the other, but it does explain why different users gravitate toward different products. For people who value subtlety, comfort, and audio-first functionality, Xiaomi's direction feels more aligned with everyday needs. There's also something reassuring about how stable the experience remains over time. No sudden changes, no unexpected behavior. The glasses continue to do what they did on day one. That consistency builds trust. You stop wondering if something will break or stop working. You just use them. In wearable tech, that kind of reliability is often more valuable than adding new tricks. Eventually, the idea of smart glasses stops feeling futuristic and starts feeling practical. That's the real shift happening here. Xiaomi Smart Audio. Glasses don't try to redefine how you live. They quietly support how you already live. And for many people, that's exactly what makes them feel like a serious alternative in a space often dominated by bold promises and flashy features. By the end of that long-term experience, the conversation naturally changes. It's no longer about specs, comparisons, or first impressions. It's about whether you choose to wear them again tomorrow. And with Xiaomi's smart audio glasses, the answer comes easily. Not because they demand attention, but because they've already earned a place in your daily routine. At this point, the experience becomes less about features and more about trust. You trust that when you put the Xiaomi smart audio glasses on, they will behave the same way they did yesterday and the day before. There's no mental preparation required. You don't check battery anxiety every hour. You don't wonder if a connection will drop. They simply slide into your routine the way regular glasses do. Except now they quietly carry audio with them. Comfort continues to matter more. As time goes on, long sessions reveal what short tests can't. The frame weight stays manageable. The pressure on the nose remains light, and the temples don't dig in during extended wear. This is where Xiaomi's decision to keep the design close to traditional eyewear really pays off. You're not reminded that you're wearing a gadget. You're just wearing glasses that happen to handle sound. Situational awareness keeps showing its value. In busy environments, you still hear traffic, conversations, and background noise while listening to music or a podcast. That balance reduces friction between digital content and the real world. You don't feel cut off, and you don't feel unsafe. For commuting, walking, or casual outdoor use, this becomes one of the most practical aspects of the Xiaomi Smart audio glasses. The way people around you react also stays neutral, and that's important. There's no awkward moment where someone wonders if you're recording them or ignoring them. From the outside, these look like normal glasses. That social acceptance lowers barriers in ways flashy technology often forgets to consider. You don't need to explain what you're wearing. You don't need permission to use them. Battery habits settle into something predictable. Charging becomes part of the routine rather than a chore. Because usage is mostly audio and calls, expectations stay realistic. You're not pushing heavy workloads or advanced processing. The glasses do one job consistently, and the battery behavior reflects that focus. Predictability here builds confidence rather than frustration. Calls remain one of the most reliable use cases. Voice clarity holds up well in everyday environments, and you don't need to adjust how you speak. You're not raising your voice or changing your posture. The microphones do their job quietly in the background, which is exactly how they should behave. Over time, taking calls through the glasses feels normal rather than novel. When you compare this experience to more camera-focused smart glasses like Meta Ray-Ban, the contrast becomes clearer without needing exaggeration. Meta Ray-Ban offers visual capture and content creation. Xiaomi smart audio glasses offer audio convenience and subtlety. They serve different priorities. Xiaomi's approach feels designed for people who want smart functionality without lifestyle disruption. That difference explains why conversations around smart glasses are shifting. Not everyone wants to document life. Some people just want to move through it more comfortably. Xiaomi's product speaks directly to that audience. It doesn't try to replace your phone. It simply reduces how often you need to touch it. As days turn into weeks, the novelty fades completely, and that's not a failure. It's a success. The glasses stop being something you test and start being something you rely on. That long-term reliability is what quietly earns loyalty. You don't talk about them all the time. You just keep wearing them. This is where Xiaomi smart audio glasses prove their real value. Not in DMOS, not in spec lists, but in how seamlessly they blend into everyday life. They don't compete by being louder or more dramatic. They compete by being easier to live with. And for a growing group of users, that turns out to be exactly what smart glasses are supposed to do. By the time you reach this stage of ownership, something subtle happens. You stop evaluating the Xiaomi smart audio glasses and start depending on them. They're no longer an experiment or a tech curiosity. They're just part of how you move through the day. That shift doesn't come from flashy moments. It comes from consistency. Mornings become a good example. You put the Xiaomi smart audio glasses on the same way you would any regular pair of glasses. There's no setup ritual. They connect to your phone the same way they always do. Music starts without fuss. Notifications arrive quietly through audio instead of pulling your eyes to a screen. That small change affects how often you reach for your phone, and over time, that reduction feels intentional rather than forced. During work hours, the glasses stay unobtrusive. Whether you're at a desk, moving between rooms, or stepping outside briefly, they don't demand attention. Audio stays private enough for personal use while still allowing awareness of your surroundings. This balance continues to be one of the strongest arguments for the Xiaomi smart audio glasses. They don't isolate you from the world. They layer information on top of it in a restrained way. Long-term wear also highlights build choices. Hinges continue to feel stable. The frame doesn't loosen unexpectedly. Buttons and touch areas respond the same way they did on day one. These details don't generate excitement, but they build trust. Reliability becomes the feature you notice most, even if it's the one least talked about in marketing. Social situations reinforce that trust. Conversations flow naturally. You pause audio without making it obvious. You answer calls without pulling out a phone or wearing visible earbuds. From the outside, nothing about the interaction feels unusual. That normalcy matters more over time than any single standout feature. When comparing this experience to Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, the difference remains clear without needing drama. Meta Ray-Ban focuses on capturing moments with cameras and sharing content. Xiaomi's smart audio glasses focus on listening, calling, and staying connected without visual distraction. Neither approach is better in every situation, but Xiaomi's choice appeals to people who value discretion and simplicity over documentation. Battery routines continue to fade into the background. You know when to charge. You know how long they last in your daily pattern. There's no guessing. That predictability removes friction, which is often the real barrier to adopting wearable tech long term. The longer you wear them, the less you think about the technology inside. That's not because it disappears, but because it works quietly. The Xiaomi smart audio glasses don't compete for attention. They support your routine instead of reshaping it, and that's where the conversation around smart glasses is heading. Not toward devices that demand new habits, but toward ones that respect existing ones. Xiaomi's approach shows that smart glasses don't need cameras or aggressive features to earn a place in daily life. Sometimes the smartest move is restraint. At this point, it becomes clear why people see Xiaomi smart audio glasses as a serious alternative in the space. They don't try to replace everything you already use. They simply make one part of your day easier, and they do it consistently. That quiet success is what keeps them on your face long after the excitement wears off. At the final stage of living with the Xiaomi smart audio glasses, what stands out most is how little you think about them at all. That's usually the highest compliment you can give any piece of wearable tech. They don't interrupt your habits or force you to adapt. Instead, they settle into your routines so smoothly that removing them feels more noticeable than wearing them. Daily movement becomes more fluid. Walking outside, you listen to audio without sealing off the world. Indoors, you take calls without changing posture or searching for devices. Small moments like these stack up. Over time, they change how you experience convenience. It's no longer about doing more with technology, but about doing the same things with less effort. The design choice to avoid cameras continues to feel intentional rather than limiting. There's no concern about privacy from people around you. There's no hesitation about where you can wear them. You don't second-guess whether they're appropriate in meetings, public spaces, or quiet environments. That freedom comes directly from restraint. And it's something many users appreciate more the longer they own the Xiaomi smart audio glasses. Audio quality remains consistent. It doesn't need constant adjustment. You're not chasing settings or updates to make them usable. Calls remain clear, media playback stays balanced, and the microphones handle everyday speech naturally. Nothing about the experience feels fragile or experimental, which is important for a device meant to be worn on your face. When smart glasses come up in conversation, this is often the point people struggle to describe. There's no single moment that sells the Xiaomi smart audio glasses. It's the accumulation of normal days. It's how often you choose them without thinking. That's something spec sheets can't show, but long-term use reveals clearly. In comparison to more feature-heavy smart glasses like Meta Ray-Ban, Xiaomi's position becomes very clear by now. Meta Ray-Ban serves creators and people who want visual capture integrated into eyewear. Xiaomi serves users who prioritize listening, calling, and subtle connectivity. Neither replaces the other, but they represent two very different philosophies about what smart glasses should be. By the end of this journey, the Xiaomi smart audio glasses don't feel like a competitor trying to win attention. They feel like a product that understands its role. They don't ask for excitement. They earn trust through reliability, comfort, and quiet usefulness. And that's ultimately why they stay relevant in daily life. Not because they shout louder than the competition, but because they ask less of you. In a category still searching for its identity, Xiaomi's smart audio glasses show that sometimes the smartest technology is the kind you forget you're wearing.